Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at all the different uh, variations or different versions of all, or pretty much all of the Child's Play Chucky figures. So these are all the different possible versions you can get from a few different companies, mainly being neca being the main one, but then there's some from McFarlane, there's one from Funko Reaction, Mezco, even a couple of Japanese versions, and there's a Bendy Fig by Noble Collection. So there's a few different variations and sort of different versions are quite similar, or there's ones that are sort of same but they've sort of been changed in a way. So there's sort of like, there's ones that have been done before that have sort of changed them, so sort of different versions but sort of the same sort of design. So I've sort of done this video as, I know I've done Chucky videos before, but I've done this as a sort of a different one to show all the different versions of, as I said, there's some in groups of figures that are sort of like the similar, same. So I've sort of grouped them in together and sort of thought about doing this video to show the different sort of versions, best, you know, well, just all the different versions and best, what are the best ones, and looking at all the different ones. So let's start with the one that's only got sort of like one sort of version from that particular company. For example, this one which is from Mezco, and it's the 5 points Chucky figure. So it's seen by Mezco. It's 5 points figures that they started doing. They started doing these few ones where you could sort of change over sort of like the bodies and heads and arms, and a couple of weapons and stuff. So sort of 5 points accuracy. So I don't think they're sort of like the best sort of figures that you can get, but they're all right. They come in a nice little box. This Chucky one comes in a nice little box, and it's a nice little figure. They're not very expensive. But they're not the best. I was actually going to leave this in the box rather than display it, but I eventually got it out to display it. But it's a quite nice figure. As I said, it's not one of the best, but it's not a bad little figure. If you're looking to pick one up and add to the collection, the 5 points one, got it displayed as the sort of Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, damaged head sculpt. And as I say, it's a cool little figure. As I say, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. But there's only one of those type one. But there's also, now you can get a few of these, which is another one by Mezco, and it's sort of the I think it's called a vinyl. It's sort of like a kind of I guess I could call it a sort of toony, sort of like a fun, chunky sort of size version of Chucky, which is sort of like not in proportion. It's sort of like a chunky, and they do a couple of these versions, lots of like 2 or 3, maybe 4 different versions. I think they do one of this version, another one similar to this, another one that's damaged. So I think a couple of versions, might only be 2 versions, but I've only got one in the collection currently. And again, I wouldn't say this is one of the best figures, but it's sort of one where you just sort of, I was just looking to add, and I picked it up quite cheap on eBay. So it wasn't sort of one that I was looking to get, but I just picked it up just to add to the collection. And again, as I said, it's not one of the best ones you can get, but it's if you're looking to add to the collection, it's, as I said, it's just one that I picked up. And if you're looking to just add Chucky figures, you can get them quite cheap on eBay. As I said, by Mezco, and it's all like a chunky sort of that version where it's sort of like the head is quite bigger than the sort of proportion to the body. As I said, there's a few different versions of this you can get. As again, it's not one of the best ones, I'd say, but it's just one that's would be okay in the collection. Another one now, I think there's a few different versions of this. This is the Funko Reaction Chucky Bloody version, which is just literally, they've just splashed just a bunch of blood on it, just randomly, you know, not even placed in sort of, and I don't think you get a Chucky like that in any of the movies, where it's just literally splattered all over him. I think they've done a series, or they do several other versions. They do Michael Myers Bloody, just the horror figures basically Funko Reaction, and they've just basically bloody versions. So this is the bloody version of Chucky, but you get in this Funko Reaction, you get a few of these. You get a normal version. I'm not sure if there's another one, but I've seen another one that's like a clean, normal Chucky child play version. I mean, I've only got this one at the moment, but I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get that. You might even get the damaged version, but you can get, let's just say you can get a couple of different versions for a Funko Reaction of the Chucky little figure. And again, these are, I probably wouldn't say the best ones you can get, but they're sort of ones where, you know, if you're looking to get sort of like a mini figure and have sort of, I think these Funko Reaction figures look good standing next to sort of action figures, and in a collection standing next to your normal size action figures. I mean, that's what I've done with a lot of my figures. I've got quite a few of these Funko Reactions. I'd rather just have them standing literally next to my other figures. Like I've got about 10 of them or whatever standing next to my Terminator normal size action figures, and then I've got Chucky, this Chucky figure that's would usually be standing next to my normal size Chucky figure, and then I've got a Freddy Funko Reaction standing next to, you know, and I just think they look good standing next to them, just like a mini size version. But so you can get a few of these, and again, they're not the best, but they're just cool to pick up and just to have in the collection as like a normal version, you know, a mini version of a horror figure. And if you could pick these up, if you can get them for £10-15 on eBay, you'd be doing, you know, you'd get them for a good price. I think if they're like 20-25, I think they're too expensive. So I can get these cheap enough. I think they're always worth picking up, and they're just cool, fun little figures. So there's that. Now moving on to the one that's only one of, and I believe it is only one of. I don't believe there's another bendy Chucky thing as far as I know. I think there's only one. Sorry, I'm just taking my jumper off because it's really hot at the moment in the UK. So yeah, so back to this. So this is the Chucky figure by the Noble Collection Bendy Figs series by Noble Collection. Bendy Figs are so basically figures where you can sort of bend the arms. But to tell you the truth, they say they're bendy figs. They are bendy, but to tell you the truth, they don't really bend in any sort of way. They're quite solid bendy figs. I mean, you try and bend them, but they it's not one of them sort of things like, you know, remember years ago, Stretch Armstrong, we could sort of bend it any way you wanted. This is sort of like, it is bendy in a way. It's not sort of plastic. It's sort of made in sort of hard sort of rubber material, whatever you want to call it, and it's sort of supposed to be bendy. Well, it's bendy, but it doesn't really sort of bend. You can't sort of really bend it in any sort of ways. It's quite stiff, the joints. So it is bendy sort of in terms of the actual figure mould. It's bendy, but it's sort of not one of those ones you can sort of bend it in any way, because it's really really stiff. I mean, you can't bend that any way at all, not unless you actually really try, you know, really hard. I mean, I don't bother. I just have it. I've just got mine just standing on the base on display. I think it looks okay like that. So it's sort of more the actual uh, figure itself is bendy, supposed to be bendy, rather than being plastic. But yeah, as far as I know, there's only one that I've seen, but there may very well be other bendy figs. But as I said, I've only seen the, because this is the Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky damaged version, where it's sort of like that, with head sculpts like that. And yeah, so this is the bendy one. As far as I know, this is the only one I get, but there may very well be a normal one. I don't think that I've seen that. But yeah, there's only one of these, and it's a good fig. It's quite a good figure actually. In terms of it's quite nicely painted, and it comes with a base. It displays well. And the dungarees, if you will, coveralls, whatever you want to call them, are actually part cloth material. So usually on these things, bendy figs, it's all sort of the clothing is usually just painted on, but on this case, painted on the clothing, but then they've put the coveralls or overalls as sort of a cloth material, so it sort of like kind of works quite well. But yeah, again, as I said, I mean, I think it is one of the best figures in terms of maybe not an action figure, but in terms of like it's just a decent, nice figure that's painted well, looks like a nice colour, displays it very easily on the display base, and if you can get it for like £15–20, you know, picked it up for a good price, I think. So there's that. Now we move on to some Japanese Chucky figures. Now this is a series of Takari Tommy Arts sort of capsule figures. Now these are child play Chucky minifigures that you get in a capsule. Sort of what they say, it's a capsule, but it's like a little plastic egg shape sort of container, I guess you will. And you get sort of each one. I think you can buy them as a set, but I bought them individually because I picked them up quite cheap, and I think they're about £10 or £15. So I've got them quite cheaply. You can find these on. You should be able to find these on eBay. That's where I got them. So yeah, I managed to pick them up on eBay, and yeah, they're Japanese Takari Tommy Arts Chucky figures, sort of mini little versions. And as I said, they come in a set, but there's other different ones. I mean, I've got a few actually. I've got a few other Takari Tommy Arts figures. One is a hide and seek version, and the other one is one that's in a box. And yeah, there's just literally loads. Actually, I'm going to get those other ones. So yeah, from the Takari Tommy Arts Chucky figures. So there's 3 versions in that set with various different weapons and various different head sculpts and different ones from the Child's Play movies. I think there's one. I think one's supposed to be from the first film, one's supposed to be from the second film, one's supposed to be from Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky. You know, different versions with a couple of different weapons from each of the movies. So that's in the set, but you can get other sets as well to come at Tommy Arts, but you can get various other Japanese ones. So here's the another version, which is called Hide and Seek Chucky, which is basically in a set, which are different ones where each one is, as I said, it's called Hide and Seek Chucky figures from Japan, and each one is sort of got, so this one has got a knife where it's sort of hiding its part of its face behind it, so it's obviously hence the reason hide and seek. So each one has sort of got something that's covering their sort of part of their face or majority of their face, hence why they're called hide and seek, fixed in different poses with a weapon or accessory that's covering the face. So I just call them hide and seek, where they've got them in those different poses. This one is the knife hiding behind it, but you can get other ones, and you can get also Glenn and Tiffany, where they're sort of hiding behind something as well. So yeah, it's a cool little fun set, and again a different set, which is about 5 figures in the set. So there's that set, and there's also these, which are about 3 figures, I believe it is, and these are sort of like small figures, and they come each in a little box that you can display them in, which is pretty cool and fun. And they are all sort of, they're all quite basic. I mean, they're not the best Japanese figure. They come like that, so they're all just sort of like that, which is not probably the best, but they're just sort of like fun little mini figures that you can get, you know, that's cool to add to the collection. And as I said, there's 3 different ones like this, all different versions from the movies. And as I said, each one in a set of 3 comes with a box. And if you can get them cheap, like on eBay for £10 or £15, they're worth picking up. I'd probably say about £10 these are worth, really. So if you can get for about a tenner, I think they've got some of these still on eBay. So if you can get them, you can pick them up for a tenner. It's worth getting. As I said, they're just cool little fun figures, and again, it's just a different version, the Japanese version. So they do Tommy Arts, hide and seek ones, these, which I think these are called Software Chucky figures from Japan. So there's that set. Yeah, so there's various different sets you can get from Japan, and again, they're just worth picking up if you want to add to the collection. You can get them quite cheaply. So there's those. Now we're going to be moving on to McFarlane. Now, McFarlane, I believe, now I've only got 2 Child's Play Chucky McFarlane figures, but I don't know if there's any more. There might be, but I'm not too sure. But these are the main ones I've seen pretty much around. So, the first one is Child's Play Chucky from Child's Play Chucky from Child's Play 2, obviously the second movie, and then the other one is the Chucky Bride of Chucky from obviously the film Bride of Chucky. So that's that version, which is one of my favourite versions. If you haven't, if you haven't heard me say that already about a dozen times, that's one of my favourite versions. Definitely one of my favourite figures with that head damaged version. The detail on that's fantastic. So that's the. So as far as I know, there's only 2 different versions by McFarlane, but they're quite good figures. I quite like the chunkiness of the figures. I know people have said before in comparison, they said the neca Chucky is better. I think, yeah, probably the neca Chucky is better, but I quite like these figures. I think like the nice. I like that because when you look at the doll, it's like a fat sort of like chunky version. I like the it's like fat and chunky size. So it sort of looks like a fat little doll, sort of, so to speak. So yeah, I just like the fact that it's like chunky and fat. You know, like it's not skinny. Do you know what I mean? It's supposed to be looking like it just looks like a little chubby doll, like it's sort of. Do you know what I mean? It just looks like it's supposed to be like that. And the fact that the hair is a material other than plastic, which is pretty good. So yeah, I just like the fact that I mean they're all right. I think the Bride of Chucky is probably actually better because of that epic detail on the head sculpt. But yeah, again, McFarlane does those couple of versions. I think there could be others, but I've only got the two. Now we're going to move on. I think we've done those. We've done those. Now we're going to go on to neca, which is like sort of the main one who does the best ones. The next one is the neca Child's Play free Chucky figure, obviously based on the Child's Play free Chucky figure. Now you'll have to excuse this bad example of a figure because I've got this on eBay second hand, and it's in a very terrible state. The hair is a complete mess. It's been cut. I don't know what happened previously. I don't know what the previous owner did to it. Literally messed up the head, and it's just been literally cut. I think the iron was on the wrong way around, and it's just been fixed on there, and it's ridiculous because I couldn't get the weapons in his hands. So I literally had to glue it. They've been glued into his hands because they just wouldn't fit into his hands. I intend to get a replacement for this, a new Child's Play free figure, new one, and I'm going to replace it because it's just a really bad example. But as far as this figure goes concerned, I think there's only one of these versions of this, and it's not just is my figure a bad figure, it's probably not even one of the best figures by neca, but it's alright. I think probably the original one was better than this. But as far as I know, there's the one of this type of version of that particular figure. Now we go on to one that's, I think there's only two of these. It's the Child's Play Chucky cloth version, and from what I know, I think there's only one of this particular figure. Obviously there's two, but one's a charred version. So this is the clothed Chucky version, which is obviously the clothing is cloth material, and the hair is sort of kind of material. So this is the clothed version that I do. Again, it's probably not one of the best ones they do in terms of it doesn't really stand up well, but it's alright. And it's not, it's nice and colourful. I don't know if it's actually the right exact colours, but it's alright. But I don't think it's one of the best. It certainly doesn't look sort of movie accurate or anything like that. But it's alright. You get a few little weapons. The cool thing, you get a box of it. And I think the only other version that's the same as this is the charred one, which is sort of basically the same figure, but yeah, they literally burnt it. Now I don't know if they've actually literally burnt it, but they've sort of done it and they've sort of made it appear as if it's burnt, but it does look like they've actually got the figure and literally burnt it. But I don't know if they did do that or not, or whether they just literally done it on a machine to get it like that, to get it burnt. But anyway, so we've got the cloth version by neca and the charred Chucky version, which is pretty much the same figure, only just a burnt version of it. So as far as I know, there's only two of those versions of that same figure, but this is absolutely fantastic way that what they've done on here. Its head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. It's the detail on it is really good, painted really well, but as I said, I don't know how they managed to achieve that, but yeah, it's pretty epic, and I think it looks spot on to the movie with that one eye in there. Obviously when it gets thrown into the fire, he comes out looking, and he's all charred and burnt, and he's coming out, he's still alive, and he's got a knife. Yeah, but it's pretty epic. The detail, it's actually way better than the normal cloth version, but yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. The detail on it, I wasn't actually sure if it was 100% accurate to the movie because I thought it was a bit more burnt than that, but actually when I looked at the movie again from that scene when he comes out of the fire, it looks actually accurate now. And it's a great figure to have on display. If you've got that like that, you've got that on display, and you just look at him and think, oh, that's that bit where he comes out of the fire. So I think if you've got a charred Chucky, from the movie, that bit, it just looks fantastic on display. Just really epic detail, and painted so well. It's stuff like this that you really appreciate, having figures like this, because you just can literally have them on display and just appreciate them and look at them. I think stuff. Some of the stuff looks really epic. Yeah, it's just really a fantastic figure. So I think that's the only two in those versions: the cloth version and the charred version. Now we're going to the last lot, which is sort of, I think they're all based sort of on the same figure, and it's the NECA Ultimates, which is the first one being the Ultimate NECA Chucky, which is the epic Ultimate one, which is literally one of the best Chucky figures ever made, or it could be the best Chucky ever made, to be honest, because it's the Ultimate version. It's got multiple accessories, multiple heads, about 4 different heads, tons of weapons, at least like 10 or 15 weapons, loads of stuff, and there's literally about 4 or 5 different ways that you can change it from all different movies: Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, literally about 4 or 5 different movies it's based on. So you can literally swap it from any and have it displayed from Child's Play 1, Child's Play 2, or whatever, and literally the options of changing stuff over the heads and weapons is just endless. You could literally just make up your own one. You could just literally pick a head, pick weapons, and just literally display it, and it's just a fantastic, fun, really cool figure. Just literally one of the best ones that NECA's ever made, and it comes with an awesome box. You can pop them in as well. It's just absolutely fantastic, and it's just literally really, really good. The other one is the Bride of Chucky, NECA Bride of Chucky figure, which is obviously the damaged version with that head sculpt, that epic detail on there. And that's the NECA Bride of Chucky version. We obviously said the head's damaged, the body is damaged, sustained damaged by the time it gets to Bride of Chucky. And that's the Bride of Chucky, which is a really great figure. And that's I don't know if the NECA one, the Ultimate one was done before this, and then they did this based on the same body, and then they literally added the different damaged head sculpt and body. So I think they sort of took that from that, and then they changed it and made it all sort of damaged from the sort of Bride of Chucky. And then the other one that's in that same sort of line is the NECA TV series Chucky figure from, obviously they made Chucky into a TV series. So this is the Ultimate TV series Chucky figure, which is I believe the same body as the other two, and they've just literally changed the head sculpt. The body, it's just literally been changed. I think they just literally changed the colour of it, but it's the same sort of figure because it's that small sort of scale figure, which is very, very similar to the other. So I think they've literally taken that and turned it into the TV series, which again is a really, really good figure. Probably won't go as far as to say it's better than the Ultimate version, but it's still a pretty good figure. You still get some good accessories. It's really painted on. It's really, head sculpt's really sculpted well. Body looks nice, colourful and good, and I'm pretty sure it's from the same sort of one, so they've just literally changed it. And then the other one is the TV series Chucky figure holiday edition, where it's just literally basically pretty much the same figure as the original TV version, but this time they've made it into a Christmas themed version, where they've literally, all they've done basically is I think it's the same, well, it's pretty much the same sort of figure, but all they've just done is literally added a few different other head sculpts sort of bloody. The body, I think, has been made bloody as well. So I think they've got the same body, just put blood on it. Then they've added a few other head sculpts that are bloody, and then the accessories have just been changed from what they was. So literally, I think they've just got the same figure, put blood on it, added head sculpts with blood on, changed the accessories, sort of like some of them are crazy, like chainsaws. But the other accessories you get are sort of like cookies, glass of milk, a mug, Chucky mug, and yeah, so it's literally. So I think yeah, this is all from the sort of the same line in that type of figure, where they've just literally got that sort of figure and changed it over. But I think there's 4 of those, but there may be 1 or 2 more. But as far as I know, there's a few in that line. So guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I thought I'd show you all the different versions. I know I've done Chucky videos before, but I thought I'd do one where it's sort of looking at all the different versions, putting them sort of into little groups and looking at them. So guys, I think that's going to be it for this epic Chucky video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye for now, see you soon. Thanks for watching, cheers.